as I'm sitting here, pretty much as always, in a Hosswear shirt nowadays. If you hear it in the background, there's my dog trying to recover in the Air Relax boots. We're going to try to edit this video and get some voiceover for you. So let's do this. All right, let's start off the new year, 2024, with some 4-pound med ball throws. And obviously, you're hearing my dog in the background, as always, when I'm doing these voiceovers. But using the radar gun to measure the speed on these. So this, I don't think, was my best set of the day. I'm keeping track of my top speeds, and we're going to try to beat those week to week. So just kind of warming up. Great warm up. And then on this day, I added in some vertical jumps, reaching for the little thing we have hanging on the garage door rack, not hitting it every single time, but trying to have an external stimulus, sometimes a box, sometimes something to jump over, other than just jumping as high as possible. All in a warm up for the front squats, starting a new phase on front squat. So we're doing a volume accumulation. 6x2 is day one at 150 kilos or 330 pounds. So we have them all in here, and we'll work up to a 6x6. And yes, they are not as easy as I thought they would be, but we're working our way through them here. So going back to those med ball throws, actually don't have like a best practice or what I'm doing, but here's what I am doing is I'm going from 4 pounds, 6 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, working up each week, doing the throws per side and just tracking the speed, and then we'll repeat back at 4 pounds and work our way back up. I feel like it's a good way to get some sort of absolute, like, moving as fast and as hard as possible with a lighter implement that hopefully gets some translate over. Now, haven't been able to throw very much in January because it has been the rainiest month ever. We have had over a foot of rain, and I think since like December 1st or something like that. And behind the gym does not want to dry out. And actually, here's another day doing some med balls, and I actually did these really hard. This one, we went after them. You see Cody there in the background. We had a little bit of a challenge between the two of us. Cody's a big golfer, has trained long drive, and you can see his technique. It's funny to watch how you can see some things differ, where he gets into his front leg a little bit straighter, and obviously it's better for both of us on our dominant side. Waiting on Atlas there to get out the way, but a little bit different in the technique and style of these med ball throws. Then this is something that was funny. We were messing around with this. It's a different way to load. This is very similar. This is a jumping exercise or med ball from a golf perspective, and it's really awkward. Now, obviously, if you followed long enough, my left quad is still, it's really my hamstring, left leg as well, believe it or not. Kind of noticed both. Still not all the way back, not 100% by far. So this has been a secondary day, as a split squat day, focusing on the front leg with the safety squat bar. And we're going to start and wave up the volume, trying to put some muscle mass back in that leg. And you see all the step downs before that. And then one that we've got back to using is the Power Runner. I love the way this thing feels. I hated that I ever got rid of the first one I had, but so glad to have one back. It's not quite a glute kickback. It's not like a leg press. Gosh, it just feels good to work single leg. I never really get in the middle and do both. So here is another day at a firehouse. So then I'm working, doing a work sub for somebody. It was cold. You see me in my job shirt warming up. But one thing I'm going to do a video of, I'm going to take some video of the different firehouses I work at and kind of show you how I have to make do with what I've got at these different firehouses. But having a 30-pound slam ball or 25-pound slam ball, however heavy it is, in my truck at all times allows me to hit these stand throws as long as I have a brick wall. I mean, I could throw them in a parking lot, but brick wall makes you don't have to chase them down. In my carryover with that is trying to think about working my brain. Then my man Danny Autry has been doing a lot of indoor work. Obviously, Alaska's a little snowier than I've got, so not as many excuses, but I just don't like throwing in the rain. I don't like slipping, sliding, risking injury, to be honest. That's where my opinions fall. And it's just going to be what it is. Doing some cast and drops, and obviously I'm kind of throwing it into this wall here. Not really have an aim point on it, but just trying to feel balanced when I land And you'll see a couple of these, I speed up the cast a little bit more, trying to try some different things, and just feel out what your body's supposed to do. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? So you don't have to have a right or wrong, or this is exactly where this needs to be or that. But when you do a drill or an exercise or something, have the goal that you're trying to accomplish and then feel that goal. So for me, it was landing on my toes, getting around and not being blocked off, because I'll tend to get too blocked off. And now I need to also probably adjust the weight of this sandbag. I think it's at somewhere in the mid 30s. It's just an awkward weight. And then I did one set of some walking hammer winds, and without tacky, this handle was slippery and I just didn't like the feeling of it. So that was it. I called it there on those. Now, different day at the gym. Started with some jammer presses, just trying to be athletic. Try to drive triple extension, pushing from the ground through to the hands. Would never hurt from a shot put perspective, and that's kind of what my head was here. And then been doing a lot of different jump variations, not quite like I was doing last summer, keeping some of that stuff in, and I do a whole warm-up series with it, but five rep broad jumps there were fun. And then jumping into first week of some deadlifts with my man Derek. You can see him there in the very corner. Just hit some sets of 5 here at 170 kilos. Not trying to go too heavy, not trying to rush into things or hurt anything. And I think this video is about over because it was a short training week with a couple days of some weird days, but finished up with some stir the pots, and I don't know if there's much else. So if not, glad you were here. Let's get it next week.